welcome to New Earth News. I'm Meg Benedicte, and today we're going to talk about awakening from the matrix. So let's do a little quick overview of what is the matrix and then what to expect as you begin to pull yourself out of it, extract from that system, and then you start to go through the deprogramming process. So first, talk about the matrix. So this is an old power system, centuries old. It's a top-down, hierarchical, patriarchal, imbalanced, pyramidal power system. We're all born into it. And probably most, if not all of us, have been in the lower tiers of that pyramid. So we've been the ones that have been supporting the top tier, the top elite tier, through all of our energy and our hard work and all of that. So we're in this process, especially since 2012, but then really it took place on December 12th, 2019, which was a very rare 12-12-12 day. And that was the gateway that began the disentangling and decomposing of that old world system. We're seeing signs of this everywhere. So in a way, it is the collapse of that society, and simultaneously is the new operating system, which I call the New Earth timeline, or just the New Earth. You can hear that term. That's the new operating system, and this is a circular operating system. So we're moving from a top-down pyramid structure to a circular structure where there is no controlling elite, right? We're all equally present and participating, cooperating in the new Earth system. Now, these are, in a way, two parallel operating systems right now, and we all have the opportunity to choose where we want to ground our life into, right? Where we want to anchor our energy field into. What is the operating system we want to participate in? Just like we choose, either Microsoft Windows or Apple OS, Mac OS. Those are just two of some, probably the top two of the computer operating system. So we're doing the same with our planetary field. Which one do we want to live our lives in? Okay, so keep that in mind as I go through these steps. So simultaneously, we've got these two. One is actually collapsing, the old one, and the other one is birthing and growing and expanding, which is very exciting. And that's what I'm part of, and that's what I hope you choose to join as well. So as you begin to, if you make that choice, going into the new Earth operating system, you begin to disentangle your energy, your life force, your participation in the old matrix system, this old matrix top-down system. You'll begin to start to experience a shift in your mind. A new perspective begins to form. Think of it like you literally are reorienting into a new perspective, kind of like you're looking through a new lens into this new operating system. And the matrix filter or veils will start to break apart and dissolve. And this is where you begin to go through that awakening process. More and more of that discordant, chaotic energy will surface for clearing. So this could come up in your mind, it could come up in your emotions. You could actually feel it coming out of you in your physical body, but it's all rising to the surface, right? It's all coming up. Your mind could experience confusion, having trouble discerning. You're become more aware of the mental blocks that are in there from the matrix, right? It's the whatever I call them the membranes of separation. These barriers or veils preventing us from accessing spirit, our higher self. You start to become aware of these. They'll feel frustrating once you begin to realize, oh my God, this has been running my whole life, right? No wonder I had so much trouble. You become conscious that there's been this interference from the global matrix simulation, veiling us from spirit, manipulating or interfering with the unconscious mind. And as you go through this awakening, the emotions will rise, right? As you begin to see kind of the bigger picture of what's been going on the planet and your place in it and how it affected you in your life. And this is what we want. We want all of this to rise out from the hidden unconscious. This is in a way the shadow part of us starting to rise. And so all the emotions start to come up for clearing, especially when you realize you have been manipulated and controlled. And of course, because we haven't done much work yet, we're just waking up, right? So the ego grabs onto all this. And we have to keep an eye on that. The ego will want to blame everyone, right? The ego will want to project all of this frustrating anger and emotion. And so do your best to resist this when you catch it, because everyone was born into this control matrix. It wasn't like it was some personal punishment to your ego. Everyone was born into it. This was the planetary operating system for thousands of years. I personally think it's all the way since Atlantis. So keep an eye on the ego that wants to grab in, blame, and run the victimization program, because that will actually be a setback, because that is matrix programming. The victimization of the ego is matrix programming. So you want to keep an eye on that, not let that continue to control you, or you're still in matrix programming, right? It comes from the belief that the world is run and controlled and manipulated by this top elite tier, powerful forces to harm you. If you remain in that mindset, you're still in matrix programming. And unfortunately, many people get pulled into this blame game of the ego upon spiritual awakening, and start going into, paranoia and a persecution complex and conspiracies at this stage of the awakening. And you could get stuck there. So that's why I'm doing this video and to warn you about this, okay? Because any conspiracies about a top-down hierarchy, that elite that's using, let's say, mind control or bioweapons, or trying to take your guns, or trying to take your money, trying to poison you, okay, all of that is still matrix programming, right? Anyone who's running, like QAnon is a big one. Anyone who's running conspiracies, there's, this deep state, or the dark cats, or reptilian controllers are going to eliminate you. This is still matrix programming. Because why? Because it's still in a hierarchy, right? It's still in the top-down power structure. That's always a clue to me, especially when I'm working with someone new in client sessions. Their mind is still got matrix programming running of that top-down elite power structure. Okay, remember that. The matrix is run by the top elite. So anything running with this world view in your mind, in your life, is still part of the matrix program. We want to get all of that cleared out. So you work on the paranoia, right? You work on those emotions, right? The victimization emotions. You work on the persecution complex. You begin to heal and mend and clear all that. You get yourself free from all that, so that you extract your energy, you get that ego away from all that, because ego wants to just really attach to it. You clean your mind of this matrix unconscious programming, and you begin to see the world through a new lens. You begin, all the filters are coming off, all the distortions are coming off. You're no longer living in a chaos field, right? You start to see through the new lens. You start to see through a new a much higher consciousness. You start to see a new reality, and you begin to see and live in this new earth circulating operating system. It's in unity consciousness. It's a complete game changer. And we're trying to get everybody over into this new mindset, this new operating system of unity consciousness. In the new Earth system, no one has all the power and all the money and the control. No one is trying to kill you off, poison you. No one's trying to dominate or violate you or control you. It's a circular system of peace and harmony and coexistence. And it doesn't feed or fuel conspiracies at all, right? It's all about loving each other, supporting each other, the greater good, being in service to the greater good. We start to move away from the, kind of in the spiritual ego of narcissism. That's all about me, me, me. What can I get out of this? And we start moving more into the wisdom of the soul in this new circular operating system where everyone wins. It's a win-win system. Everyone wins. So upon awakening from the global matrix simulation, there is going to need to be some deprogramming, just like removing software from a computer. So how do you do this? First and foremost, I would encourage everyone to start, if you haven't yet, daily meditation. Because until you get in and start taking control of your own mind, you're still being influenced and manipulated. So daily meditation. This is where we train ourselves to get into the stillness, the quiet, away from that left brain and that ego mind, more into the heart space, into the stillness, the quiet, the calm, the 0 point. Daily meditation is so important. How are you going to listen to your higher self if you are dominated by that ego left brain? So when the quantum mind, because that's really what this brain of ours is, functioning like a quantum computer. The thought doesn't originate in the brain. It's all coming from the quantum field and processing through our brain, through our quantum computer. So daily meditation is where you're starting to clean out the unconscious interference and start to take command of your own holographic mind. That's your right brain, right? The right brain is our psychic mind, our intuitive mind, our multidimensional mind. It's what we use to visualize. You start to take control and command of your own head, your own brain, your own mind, and clear this artificial programming out. When the quantum mind's clear, your inner psychic abilities continue to get stronger, and you are getting into higher and higher frequency brain waves that gives you this communication network to your higher self. So the first step of awakening from the matrix is to unlock from the collective simulation, that old operating system, from the ego-driven kind of three-dimensional programming, get into more of the quiet, the higher state of observer, because we want to bring all the hidden unconsciousness up and out into the light. You begin to awaken your own authentic thoughts and feelings, intuition and perception. This is all coming from within you now, instead of what the astral plane is trying to control you with. You have access to higher dimensional awareness and experiences. And there could be some confusion where, you're not leaving 3D or 4D. You're just opening to higher dimensional access, right? Higher dimensional consciousness, higher dimensional experiences. That's what happens when you are awakening. And as these matrix veils begin to thin, the pineal gland, which is covered in microcluster crystals, begins to turn on. It begins to activate. You're starting to be able to get crystalline light, diamond light into your pineal. Begin to activate more of your right brain neural pathways. right? So you're starting to, and opening up the third eye, you start beginning to activate your psychic mind, your multidimensional mind, your quantum mind, even into more. And during the awakening stage, you start to take steps to raise this frequency, raise your brainwave frequency, raise your chakra frequency. How do we do that? We clear density, right? We clear trauma, we clear density out of our chakras, out of our field. There's lots of ways, lots of things I did when I first was in my awakening stage that you could start to integrate in. First I just committed to a daily spiritual practice. Also had to create new habits of self-care and self-love. I wasn't even present much, so the daily grounding onto the crystal grid, getting in my body, grounding in, doing meditation, daily meditation, doing yoga. I did Kundalini yoga just to start to get the life force moving in my body. Definitely changed my diet to more and more live food, not dead food, live organic food. I worked with a breath worker for 6 months, deep pranic breathing to get the heart open, get the chi moving. I did acupuncture for over 10 years, opening up all the spin points and the channel meridians so that the chi can move up and down the body. I did sound healing. I mean, there's so much, but especially my daily time, as much as I could in nature, because you have to get, in a way, reconnected to the elements of nature to go through this process, this transformational process. Everything, all of those and more will help raise your energy frequency. And as you do that, especially in meditation, you are quieting all that ego, mental chatter, right? You start to connect more and more to your higher self guidance, your intuition. You're clearing and opening up your chakra channels so you can start to bring more of your soul presence inside you. So this is the process that opens up for you as you awaken from the matrix, really beginning to become more aware now. So it creates a contrast. So the more soul light you're bringing in, it illuminates, right, the shadow. So you begin to notice, it starts to reveal where there are imbalances and distortions running and chaos in your field, and limiting, debilitating core beliefs or fears, right? Phobias and PTSD and unhealthy behaviors and no boundaries. Like, it really, really makes it very clear the condition of your field and what needs help and what needs work. So you start to focus on your own healing, focus on your own clearing, focus on releasing all of the matrix interference as you go through this awakening. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and do a quick quantum access protocol activation to assist you through this process. Okay, so go ahead and get comfortable. Have your feet onto earth because you are going to ground. We have to first ground before we get the vortex spinning up around us. A couple deep breaths. Focusing now down from the mind and into the breath and into your feeling body, coming into your heartbeat. Just getting present in your core. Just dropping your energy, continuing to run down the leg channels to the feet chakras. And as best you can, visualize getting your feet chakras like magnets. They're locking right onto the crystalline grid of our new Earth timeline. The crystal grid looks like ley lines of crystalline light all around the surface of the planet. So you're getting your grounding onto that grid. You might even visualize like cords of light coming out of your feet chakras and connecting in with the crystalline ley lines of the grid. Okay, there you go, everyone. And I always feel my feet chakras kind of like magnets. They lock in, take hold. As we're setting up, let's connect to spirit. From the heart, we connect to Divine Mother, Father, Source Creator. Connect to your original God spark, your soul presence and soul family, and your home star. Also calling in your personal spirit team of angels and guides and master teachers and the shamans, your protectors. Oh, we're also connecting to our beloved Archangel Metatron and Metatron's cube, as you see, and he's embedding Metatron's cube under our feet and our grounding. We're going to stand in the center, give it our energy, give it our light, give it our life force, turn it on. Ooh, use your breath to move your energy, inflow, outflow. So we're locking on to Metatron's cube. Those 12 circles rise up as pillars of light up and around the body. And they're humming and toning like tuning forks, right? They're vibrating with the 12 harmonic tones that we hear with our human ears as Om, toning, vibrating, Oming. And that begins to rotate them. And they start to rotate in a right to left anti-clockwise spin around the body and the aura. There we go, getting them spinning. They start going so fast, they blend together and form what we call the quantum vortex of diamond light. Good, good, fast spin. Breathe into it, spinning up. It's beginning to open and expand your field up and out into the higher dimensions. And then we're going to go even faster, collapsing the time barriers, time density, opening all the way out to the quantum level, where we access both the particle field and the wave state simultaneously, right? Physical realm and spiritual realm. Woo, there it goes. Woo, all the way through the field. Oh, that's it. Good. And that starts to open up our chakra channel, right? So, vertical flow. So you're bringing the light up from the grid, up your chakra channel. You're bringing your soul light, your higher self light down the chakra channel. So vertical flow, inflow, outflow, right? Up and down. To command my crystalline light body to open up to the inflow of crystal diamond light flowing right down the chakra channel from our abundant universe, from source. Okay, breathe it down and in. Just open, receive in. Crystalline diamond light flowing down the crown into all the chakras, down to your feet, into the grid. You're working with your chakra channel. Getting that Kundalini life force moving. Get that crystalline diamond light flowing. Also, it's moving into the chakras, diamond light. It's moving into the chakras, feeding into the meridian channels, into the organs, into your aura. Get a good, strong flow of crystal diamond light, source light, vertically, up and down. Okay, so now we're really in the flow, like you're under a shower of it, right? Really in the flow. We're going to use the power of the diamond light to flush out these matrix barriers. Okay, so in your heart and mind, you're under a nice strong flow of diamond light. I command all matrix veils and barriers and blockages and membranes of separation to unlock and release out of the body, heart, mind, aura now. Spin out, flush out, command out. Woo, let it go. Does not have permission to be here. So starting to lift. I'm be lifting in all directions here. Spin back to source light, into transmutation light. There was another layer out. We're no longer allowing these to continue. As we're awakening from the matrix, we are removing all that was running in our body, heart, mind field from the matrix. Good. And imagine as you're clearing out these membranes of separation and these energy walls and energy balls, clean them out, command them out, spin them out. Whew. Oh, very good. As you are directing that out, you are claiming, I am reclaiming my sacred vessel as my own. Oh, this is the home for the soul and the human to unite. reclaiming my sacred vessel as my own. Now, as we're removing these barriers, these frequency fences, these energy walls, these filters, okay, they're coming out from all directions. I command all matrix separation programs, patterns, code, and unconsciousness to also flush up, clean out, release out, spin out now. Whew. Whew. Let it release. So you might feel these kind of the top layers, move it into the vortex, back to source light, into transmutation light now. Woo, that's good. This we continue for a while until you get down to the nuts and bolts, okay? You're working your way, you're delayering, working your way through all that's built up over this lifetime and possibly many other earthly timelines. Okay, so as we're clearing out the barriers, the veils, we're also clearing out whatever was inserted in the matrix simulation, all the programs, patterns, code, or unconsciousness. And as we do this, that's the outflow, spin out. Whew. Continuing to reclaim your sacred vessel as your own. I am a divine light being. Oh. My entire field is pulsing in coherent light and harmony and bliss and unity consciousness. This is the new Earth operating system, the circular operating. I am updating my field to the new Earth operating system in unity consciousness. And I set this into motion now. And so it is. Ooh, let that ripple through. So it is. And you let that process, let that ripple through you, let that update you. You can do it as often as you need. As we continue to remove the matrix simulation, remove the veils, remove the energy walls, remove the programming and the patterning, the unconscious, so that we are truly activating and living as the soul, the divine soul, the galactic soul, your starseed soul in your own divine light body. And we set that into motion now, and so it is. And that completes this New Earth News. Always wonderful to connect with you. Sending my love. Bye for now.